All right, we're going to look at page 225 and 226 now. And this is a prerequisite. So you might say, oh, we've done this before. We've learned how to tell time to the 5 minutes, but it's been a while. So we're going to review. Um, in our example problem, it says the clock shows that the time Julian finished his guitar practice. What time did his practice end? So if we remember our little song, we used to sing hour hand, short, short. So our hour hand is the short one. And then we'd sing minute hand, long, long. So the minute hand is going to be our longer one. So to figure out the hour, we look for the short hand. This is our short hand. And if I trace it and make it longer, I can see that my hour hand comes between my 4 and my 5. It's past the 4, but it hasn't made it to the 5 yet. So it's still in the 4 o'clock. All the way right up to the 5. It's going to be 4 o'clock. So it's 4 something. And now we look at the minute hand. The minute hand is on the 7. And if we know how to multiply by 5, it's going to make telling time to the minutes so much easier because all we do is count by fives. So 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 5 is 20, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 5 is 30, 7 times 5 is 35. So our hour hand is on 4, and our minute hand is on the 7, which is 35. 7 times 5 is 35. So the clock shows 35 minutes after 4 o'clock, or 4:35. There's two ways to say that. All right, now we're going to match the times on the clocks to the match the time on the analog clocks to the digital clocks. So let's look at our first clock. I'm going to look for hour hand, short, short. Here's an hour hand. And let's see what two numbers that falls between. Looks like it's between the 2 and the 3. Let's see, it's not 2 something. Well, and I only have one clock that has 2 something, but let's just double check that our minutes are 20. So we've got 5, 2 fives is 10, 3 fives is 15, 4 fives is 20. So 2:20 is going to be the time on our first clock. And this tells us that it's p.m., which means that's the afternoon. Looking at our second clock, our hour hand, it's close to the 6. It's not there yet, so it's still in the fives. So it's 5, and then over here, the minute hand is going to the 10. And I can think to myself, 10 times 5 is 50. So the time is 5:50. All right, now we're going to look at this final clock on page 225. And my hour hand is between 7 and 8, but it's not to the 8 yet. So we're still in our 7 o'clock. And my minute hand is going to 9. So I need to think to myself, what's 9 times 5? Well, that's 45. And if I can't remember, I can still count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 9 times 5 is 45. So the time is 7:45. And this says AM. That would be the morning. Okay, let's turn our papers over. Now this time, we're not matching. This time, it's giving us the clock, and we have to write down what the time is on the digital clock. Because it says write the time on the clock so that each pair of clocks shows the same time. So I'm going to look at my hour hand first. So number 2, here's my hour hand between 11 and 12. So we know that all of this time belongs to the 11. So it's 11 something. 11 is my hour. Now for my minutes, I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's 11:25 a.m. Easy peasy, right? Number 3. Hour hand, short, short. And my hour hand is after my 3. Let's make this a little bit closer. There we go. Now you can see it a little better. Okay. So my hour hand is between my 3 and my 4, but see, we're not to the 4 o'clock yet. We're still in the 3s. So it's 3, and I don't have to put the 0 before my 3 when I'm doing hours. You only do that for minutes. Now for my minutes, I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So our time is 3:50. That is PM in the afternoon, according to our clock. All right. Question number 4. My hour hand. Oh, it's supposed to be because it's just past the 8. If it's just past 8, then it's still in the 8 o'clocks. So it's 8. And then if I look over here, I've got my minute hand is on the 1. So that's going to be 8:05. And I put the 0 before it. And we say 8:05. And that's AM. So that would be in the morning. Now, for our next section, we're going to draw the hour and minute hand so that each pair of clocks shows the same time. So remember, my hour hand is going to be my short, and my minute hand is going to be long. So to say 6:15, I'm looking, here's my 6, and since it's 15 minutes after 6 o'clock, so I'm going to go a little bit after 6. I'll do that right here. So there's my short hand, and I know that's in the 6. So it's now 15. To do my minute hand, I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. And for my minute hand, I always just go ahead and make it touch the number. There we go. 6:15. For my last column, I'm going to say 1:35. So 1 is my hour, and it's 35 minutes after 1 o'clock. That's more than halfway to 2 o'clock. So when I draw my hour hand, I'm going to want to make sure it's about halfway between 1 and 2. About right here. That looks good. And now I'm going to count by 5s until I get to 35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And that makes sense because 7 times 5 is 35. I'm going to draw my minute hand. It comes right down to the 7. There we go. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments on Google Classroom or send me a message on Video. Love you guys.